Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Simply Sketchy. Today, I brought with me my good friend Fat Dave, also known as Total Blackout Painting. He is a very talented artist himself and also a very interesting person to speak to. As you probably already noticed, I guess one of our previous episodes out already. That was The Thing, wasn't it?
We did the Thing and the Hellraiser one.
Hell yeah.
Remember the intergalactic Coomers or
Yep.
interdimensional Coomers? Yeah.
I'm about to coom. Speaking about
Well,
speaking
hey,
about cooming.
thanks for having me back, man. I appreciate it.
It's always a
These
pleasure,
are
buddy.
always fun.
It's always a
So,
pleasure. So, uh, today's subject, we're gonna go for, instead of a movie, we're going for a game that the both of us are pretty fond of, Elden Ring.
yeah. So, I've been lax about playing through the DLC. I should have got through it more.
Same.
But I was such a fiend for the for the first game when it. So I didn't realize that when I booted, because I played a ton, and then, you know, stopped for a little bit after I beat the game on New Game, went into New Game Plus. But when I logged back in for the Erd tree, I realized that I'm like level 340.
Yeah.
I'm like
It's
super
fun.
over leveled. Yeah.
Or you think you're super over leveled, and then comes the Miyazaki equalizer.
Right. Right.
Holy shit! That DLC in the beginning just kicked my ass.
Oh man. Well, like when I first walked in there, and my friend was kind of like, "Hey, watch out! There's a guy that'll attack you." It's like, yeah, okay.
Oh
I
yeah,
should
that
be able to take him.
that
I'm cool.
omen dude, right? That
Right.
Omer. Oh, I don't know what they're called, but it's essentially just this. I'm pretty sure
One
it's
of
an
the
omen with all the horns, but he's just dexterity and throws shit at you.
They're a horn scent. That's what he is. He's a horn scent.
Oh,
There's some kind of then they're part of the. I mean, that's one of the part of that Erdtree thing. The Shadow of the Erdtree things is there. And I was just listening to a lore video talking about the horn scent.
yeah.
So,
I
but that's
I just call them omens because they're just as fucking
yeah,
annoying as those living in the sewer in Lanedale.
yeah. They are. Well, they're related to those omens, right? Of course, because everything that looks similar is related in Elden Ring.
Yeah, like many
So
other things in the world.
yeah.
Let's see.
So yeah, that's what. So part of being over leveled, of course, the only way you can do that is outside of Mogh's palace, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh.
it's resulting of that. Like Mogh has been one of my favorite bosses,
Yeah.
and the Leondale sewers was a really cool level, and then just finding him in the Leondale sewers, at the bottom. Like I kind of knew it was coming, but when you just run into him, it's like, holy shit, what's this guy doing down here in a fucking chapel under the in a chapel under the city? Wild.
Yeah.
And it was just cool and thematic as hell.
Yeah, his story is really cool though. I haven't finished DLC either, so I haven't. I hear there's a lot of lore about him. Oh yeah, in case you couldn't tell, we are gonna be drawing Mogh from Elden Ring because, as I said, it's his favorite boss at the moment, and I do not disagree. So yeah, there's a lot of lore about this guy because in the beginning isn't it during the intro, it is depicted like Mogh kidnaps Mikola, which is
Well, that's kind of how they played it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how they played it up to that point because he had Mikola in the cocoon, and everybody thought like, oh, he wiped Mikola, and all the lore channels I watch, all kind of were in agreement that he had kidnapped Mikola and was trying to use Mikola as its consort to bring on the reign of the Blood Queen or something like that,
Yeah,
or the Bloody Mother,
I think it was
right?
essentially being an omen. He is cursed. Essentially, their blood is
Well,
cursed along with everything else about them. And
so that's the
yeah,
but that's the difference in the DLC is that they're not actually cursed; they're blessed.
really.
Like it's a blessing in in the Shadow of the Erd Tree, in the Shadowlands, um, it's a blessing. The horn scent were people who were they were spiritual. They were the ones who were the most spiritual, and the ones who had the most tangled horns were supposed to be the ones that were the closest to like the most spiritual beings,
Oh,
right? Yeah. So
I haven't really gotten into that part of the lore. Essentially, as
uh,
uh,
I'll spoil some of it for you because this
nah,
is actually some of the stuff I know.
could have been worse, dude.
But she that's the kind of the story of the DLC is that um or that's Mesmer's story is that Mesmer had a flame that could burn the tree and these guys didn't they wanted to stop it. The Horn Scent wanted to stop it. And so Mikla left Mesmer in the lands of Shadow
Wait,
to basically
Mikola left Mesmer there? Wasn't it America?
oh yeah, America. Sorry, America.
All right. Well,
America.
it's
Yeah,
hard to
I
tell
misspoke. I apologize.
it's hard to
I
tell
know.
one asshole from another, and let's be
Yeah,
honest.
a lot of mix and max in this game.
There is, and everything,
But,
every bad thing in this game can be
oh,
summarized in either America messed up or Ronnie
yeah,
messed up.
yeah. But yeah, so America hated the Horn Scent in the Lands of Shadow and left Mesmer in the Lands of Shadow to burn and torture the Horn Scent for all eternity.
Well, from what I've heard,
So,
I've seen some lore part about there's some jar people
mhm.
there that look absolutely messed up.
Yeah, yeah, and
Those
the Horn
are
Scent people make those jars.
Yeah, and they made them out of America's people, so I do understand
Yeah.
her hatred for them. So out of all her crimes, essentially, that one is a bit more understandable because I'd be pissed off too.
Right. Like, yeah, in retrospect, it doesn't seem as bad.
No, in comparison to killing your people
Yeah.
and turning them into jar folks.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah, I, I, I don't like you much, but I do understand you now a little bit. You got some of my empathy.
I don't agree, but I understand.
Yes. Let's see. So I'm thinking about the pose here for trying to be dynamic, but the size, screen size.
Yeah,
That's a
it's a
hack.
new discipline to learn how to draw this aspect ratio.
Yeah,
So
because Bessic informed me that I've been drawing on the wrong aspect ratio forever. So now I'm trying to fix that
yeah.
stuff. I hope you're happy, Bessic.
Well, now the aspect ratio you usually draw with that's just basically like the size of your tablet, wasn't it?
Yeah. Now it feels like I have a lot less
So
length
it
between
wasn't
here.
So it wasn't necessarily a stylistic choice. It was just a functional choice that you fell into then.
Yeah. But again, it's no big problem essentially.
Yeah.
Just about to get used to it is all, and learn to do poses properly.
All right.
So let's see, find a pose that works. That's the biggest issue. But yeah, going on about that, back to the subject of our omen here. From what I can guess, there are two omens in many omens, but there are
There's
two plot relevant omens. That is Mogh and his brother, twin
yeah.
brother Morgott, and
Right.
Morgott is essentially there to be. Well, Morgott is a loyalist to the order that spurs him,
Yep.
but Mogh, he went the other direction. He instead of suppressing the power in his blood, he decided to embrace it. And when he did, the outer god of blood essentially just reacted to that, and he became the high priestess of the blood god.
Yeah.
Originally, as he kidnapped Mikola, or at least seemingly kidnapped Mikola, the main theory was that he wanted to have Mikola become his consort, his godly consort, so that the era of blood could take over the lands
Yep.
between. At least that's what it was looking like in the story
Yeah,
so far.
that's how they made us think it was in the first place. Then they changed it on us,
Yeah.
and he got cleared.
Yes. Cleared of his
Mogh
charges.
beat the charges.
Oh man, that's
Yeah.
Oh man,
Mo-
being incestuous is one thing, but when your
yeah.
half brother is cursed with eternal nacency, meaning he'll be forever
Yep.
10.
Yeah, they're really like. I mean, it just highlights how good of a story they did write
Yeah.
for it, and it kills me when people are like, "Well, there's no story to." There's no real story in the game. It's like, yeah, there's lots of lore, and you just got to look into it once you
Yeah.
find it.
But you remember,
some people
Dave.
aren't into that.
Remember, Dave. Unless it's spoon-fed to you, it's not a real story.
Yeah.
Because what the hell is searching and looking for yourself, huh?
Right.
Let's see. I just need to make sure I get the cloak right. He will become a bit more stunted here, I'm afraid. Uh,
Just a different angle.
yeah, I'm gonna try to work out that. Let's see. If I do this. So yeah, it seemed first.
But
I do believe though that Mogh kind of wished for he did want a dynasty, because that's essentially the thing he
yeah,
talks about in his boss fight, is the Mogwin dynasty.
yeah,
Which would mean that if the dynasty was correct, and if he managed to make Mikola his consort, he would be able to become the dominant force, because it is the god and the consort that decides who will rule the era. The Golden Order has been in command for so long because Marika took over the power. She was the queen consort, then she had Godfrey. It is essentially the god that decides the era. At least,
America also got rid of death.
yeah. The usual
So,
form of death, and made it into a very Erd tree focused thing.
yeah. So it's speculated in that she did that before the Horn Scent started making the jars, and the Horn Scent started making the jars as a reaction to America getting rid of death.
Huh.
So, but back to Mogh and the Omen twins, because the Omens are such a cool like thematic theme in the main game, anyways, right? Like, there's the twins that were, because America, the Omen was a curse, and so America had two twins that were born with the curse, and they're her kids, and so she can't like have them killed, and she wasn't going to have them mutilated and turned into like the Omen, the Omen. The
Slaves.
Omens in the dungeons of Leondell, right?
The ones in the Dungeons of Leondell get to keep their horn because they are of noble birth.
They get
Because
to keep some horns, but their body's covered with the scars
oh
of
yeah,
having their horns removed.
the
Right, so they
basically
don't get to keep them all.
the more up in the nobility you are, the more natural you get to be. As
Right.
the common-born omen are the ones you meet first, and they're the ones who are just completely covered in just stumps.
Yeah. Yeah, because America had their fucking horns removed from them
Yeah,
because she hated the horn people.
yeah, and I first thought it was like, oh, they are cursed, and I understand that, and then I heard that the horn scent was like, oh, their own thing, and then it's like, okay, well, America is an evil, conniving hag. I'm trying to keep the swearing to a minimum because Besek asked me
No.
pretty please.
Okay. So
But after the 5 minute mark, we're gonna be swearing like sailors anyway. Let's see.
so it really is it's kind of, I mean, it's such a like a gruesome thing.
Yeah.
And then Dung Eater's armor having all the Omen horns cut, like just the whole, yeah.
Essentially, take all the horns that have been cut off. I like
But
Dung Eater is a vile being. but I do like his story because essentially, from what I can get from Elden Ring, is that the order has been broken. Marika, after losing her favored son to
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie and Rykard's
Yep.
schemes,
Yep.
she went crazy and just disillusioned and decided to break the Elden Ring, even against her other half.
Mm-hmm.
And that, of course, started the Shattering War and everything else. So, hashtag blame Ronnie because she is the problem of everything. She's the one who caused everything in the game. Everything negative. The Undead Rising, the Shattering War. She caused everything. Just because that she didn't like the two fingers.
Yeah,
Basically, why
yeah.
I'm never doing
But
Ronnie's run.
you come to find out in the DLC that America is more of a bad guy in that situation than you think.
Oh yeah,
But
America has always been a villain.
she's a piece of shit. America sucks. She's a terrible mom.
Yeah,
That's what.
I mean, America is
America's
a
a bad
terrible
parent.
mom, and what I know we're doing about you can't speak about one thing without the other here. Essentially, Ronnie's story is the same. We'll get into depth here about when we do Ronnie's episode.
Mhm.
But the TLDR is that Ronnie is basically just Marika's story. She is walking the literal footsteps of her mother, believing she is not the same as her.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's the villain. If you're helping Ronnie, you're helping the villain. Congratulations. Now,
And they might go into that further and more deal in further DLCs if they make them. Who
I
knows?
think they said that they won't be
But
doing anything more Elden Ring now. They're done with it.
no. Okay.
Which I'm kind of okay with that. They don't need to overdo it, and we gotten one heck of a
Yeah.
DLC, so that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. Definitely don't beat the fucking IP to death. That's sorry.
Yeah.
Beat the IP to death.
Yeah.
So,
The French know all about that.
but back to the omens. Like, so it's a curse. It's a curse in the regular, like in the lands between, or in the regular lands between. But in the shadow realm, it's a blessing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which to me seems dubious, because if you got a horn growing out of your eye, I am hesitant to call that a blessing.
Same.
But
I do believe
you
that
know,
is. I believe that that is their view because they see it. They view the curse as a blessing. It is all about points of view because again, Morgoth views his blood as a curse, and Mogh views
mhm,
it as a blessing. So it's again just about points of view here. You get
mhm,
power from it. I can easily see why you'd view being an omen as a
yeah,
blessing, and I get also why you'd see it as a curse.
and that's kind of. So my boys and I were talking about My Hero Academia the other day. Totally different subject, but we're going to take a quick tangent.
That's what we
Because
do.
if you've ever seen that, you've seen that like half of the people in that, like some of the people, like there's people that are born with fur,
Yep.
right? There's a dude that has like a chair head or something on it. That's the tick. But there's a guy that has a weird shaped head,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's a dude that was born, he's a fucking orca,
Yep.
right? Like that seems like a curse.
Yep.
I understand it's his superpower, but it seems like a curse. And the fact that there's millions of people born every day with different weird genetic mutations, and some of them are going to be so weird. Anyhow,
I mean,
it's
there's
just
a
interesting to see their
yeah,
blessing as a, that seems like such a horrible cursed thing, but they're like, yay, and they're so happy about it because they've been told it's a
yeah.
blessing.
Well, the people the
You know,
20% average of humanity that doesn't get an ability is just looked. Oh, you poor thing.
yeah,
You don't have anything.
right,
Oh boy. Oh, we should.
right.
If you ever feel like we
But so
can
yeah,
try
back
and
up.
cover that too one day. But hell, hey, more
Yeah.
content. Woohoo! More
So,
edits for Bezic.
but yeah, so
back to Mogh, back to the lands between.
Yeah.
The that is the interesting dichotomy that they actually did write into the story, too, is that, you know, it's a blessing or a curse. You know, America didn't like people who had horns, so it was a curse to be born within the lands between because you were going to be persecuted because of America's wishes.
Mm-hmm.
But in the Shadow Realm, or under the Shadow Tree, you you were a divine being.
Yeah.
So
I mean, just look how they treat the like the first boss you meet. It's, at least for me, that was the divine beast dancer.
yeah,
Yeah, that was a bitch to deal with. That
yeah.
thing
Oh,
is, well, it's kind of good signify how they view omen creature, or like the, if I remember correctly, the Crucible Knights and like every omen creature seems to have horns or wings or, you know,
mhm.
non unnormal assets to them, just random things that pops out because before the Earth Tree was the Earth Tree, it was essentially the Crucible, this
Yeah.
massive, messy form of life, essentially. I don't remember completely. I think it's that
The-
all of life was in one large cauldron, as essentially like this
right.
nubby
Well, that's why
version. Yeah, everything was
that's
in
why
one.
the Crucible Knights have those weird animalistic powers,
Yep,
because the Crucible was a more animalistic thing.
yep, basically, and they can tap into it. Even the Black Knights are able to tap into the some of the Crucible powers.
See, that was the first boss I fought in the DLC, was the Knight, the guy in the jail.
Oh
And
right.
that guy, I stomped that divine beast. I did not think that it was going to be that easy. I was a little worried, but it was just,
Oh he.
I summoned the story cooperator, and then I pulled out my mimic tier, and I hit him with the rot and the black blade, and just fucked him up.
Oh yeah.
Or just,
Oh wait, you mean
just
Black or Blasphemous?
uh, the the uh, um, the black blade,
The one that
the one
the one that
the one that does destined death, the
Oh,
one for Malekith.
all right.
Malekith's black blade. Yeah,
Well, I do. I usually spam the Blasphemous Blade because that shit heals you and it does insane fire damage.
yeah, yeah. I used the blasphemous blade. I had both of them. See, that's why, because I'm so high level that I can carry both of them. It's like, this is my one weapon. This is my other. I, I'm like I'm like Inspector Gadget, dude, on my character. I carry everything with me, and then I got leveled up so high that so I could basically use almost any item, and in most combinations.
Nice.
So,
I am 250 now, almost 250. So I have essentially maxed out Fate, gotten pretty far into Strength, gotten decent amount of Vigor, and I'm basically just doing Faith and Strength, and the result is just
yeah.
insane.
Oh yeah, strength faith for the win, dude. Dumb and faithful. That's how you do it.
Yeah. If you want to be intelligent with Faith, you'll end up like Radigan, and he became a sword for an axolotl.
Right.
Oh, that was a cool thing.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, I use that blasphemous blade a lot. Like, that's actually my main weapon. But the black blade's good for bullying.
Yeah.
That's how I beat America. The first time was with that thing. Just
America?
spamming the weapon art on that. Or God damn it.
Oh.
Fucking goddamn the Scarlet Rot chick.
Oh yeah, Melania Blade of
Melania,
Mikola.
yeah.
Melania
Too many-
Blade of Mikola.
Yeah.
Here's
many
the thing.
M's.
I didn't really have much of an issue because again, I I essentially used the Dung Eater summon,
Yeah.
and for hard fights, I just bring out the Blasphemous Blade because it just does tons of damage. And using the Dung Eater, he's the ultimate tank because he can aggro everyone. So I just fucking ended up bullying her with the blasphemous blade while the dung eater kept aggroing her.
And the weapon art on that does good poise damage too.
Oh, it does,
That's
and
what
it
I
has
like. So
really
it,
good super armor. So
yeah,
you need to get hit hard before you're staggered out of it.
yeah, yeah. I love that weapon.
It is so good.
I use that, and I use Mogh spear
Yeah.
a lot of the time.
If
So
if you want to go like an arcane build, a blood build, or what I like about arcane is that you can go either dragon or blood or poison. If you want to go scarlet rot, however, you have to go faith for that.
yeah, I had a good bleed build going too. So I had enough arcane to run it.
Nice. Though, what's your favorite hammer, essentially? What's your favorite weapon so far?
Hmm.
That isn't a somber weapon.
The oh man, the non-somber weapon.
Yeah,
The non-somber weapon is the giant's hammer.
yes.
I
Oh,
love the giant's hammer. I put the fucking eagle strike on it so I can just pancake dudes because that's one of the
it
funniest
is
things in the
so
whole damn game.
satisfying. That actually is a move from Berserk. You know the one,
Mm.
the lions.
Yeah, the lion's claw.
Yeah, that is from Berserk.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
I had it on that sword too. Actually, I have it on that sword too.
Ah.
But I just love when some dude's coming at you and you're like flump and you just pancake them down. So
Fucking
satisfying.
squish them. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's I like to use the great stars with either faith or fire build,
Mhm.
and I recently found out that the golden land, which can be applied to spears and hammers, golden land with the great hammers is broken because the great stars hammer, every hit gives you health back, a little bit of health, right?
Yeah.
And when you use an Ash of War, you know the magic of the weapons,
Hmm.
every hit counts, including the each and every piece of of like projectiles. So Golden Land creates 5 or 6 like magic arrows that shoots out at the enemies and
Yeah,
does a
yeah,
ton
yeah.
of damage. And each hit heals you. So it's sort of like a long-range version of the Blasphemous Blade. It is just
That's so
beautiful.
that's pretty dope.
Yeah. And also it's just funny swinging a fucking spiked mallet at things. But yeah. As we usually go on a tangent,
Yeah.
back to Mogh, the chosen of the Blood Mother. No, the Formless Mother, essentially.
Yeah, the formless mother.
The source of all blood magic in the lands between.
And the blood magic was so cool.
Yes.
Like bloody fire. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's so cool to me.
I love how it requires a little bit of faith along with the arcane, just to prove that there is some aspect of godhood required there.
Right.
Let's see.
Yeah. It's it's refreshing to have this intricate or interesting of a story in a game now. Right? Because so many games are full of bad writing.
Every single there's not a Western game that has good writing anymore.
Yeah.
I keep hearing about the Kingdom Come, but I don't believe it until I see it. You never know. We had hopes about Helldivers, and just look how that turned out recently.
Right. Well, and that's the thing too, is that I'm not necessarily looking for an epic, like, magnum opus game or whatever. But if like Helldivers is a good example. Just let me go beat up some stuff. Just let me have some dumb fun and not make me feel good about it,
Yeah.
or not make me feel bad about it.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
And here you can. What the best thing I like about Elden Ring is that you can have that dumb fun, but you can also get into the lore and holy crap, if you decide to just dive into it, there's a lot of dark shit going on there.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, Mogh is kind of shaping up. What do you think so far?
Yeah, man, it looks good.
Thank you.
And again, like, I don't know. I'm fanboying. I'm fanboying for the game so hard, just because of more like. There's so many cool things in it, and there's so many cool little, like even just the robes they put him in. Like they did a good job of making him look kind of regal.
Yes.
But also, like when you first encounter him in the dungeons of Leondell, like to me, because he's kind of in the sewers, in a chapel under the sewers, right? He looks dark. He does look like he looks a little crazy homeless. If I'm
Yes,
serious,
he does.
he does kind of have that little crazy homeless guy look to him a bit. So, like what you would expect to find at the bottom of a sewer, like if you were to encounter, like in real life, if you were to go down into the sewer and you stumbled across the chapel and you found a guy there, you would kind of expect him to look a little crazy, I would think.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they did a good job with the robe.
They did, and just his character in general, because at first I viewed him as again, I haven't gotten to the point where what Mikla did to him is revealed, but so far he's just evil, you know, selfishly evil. He wants his own world. He wants it at his own way, and essentially, as I viewed it, he took Mikla to force him to become essentially the god of blood. That is why his arm is all messed up in the cocoon.
Right. Well, that's why you enter the Erdtree through the Shadowlands through the blood.
Yeah.
So through the portal in the blood, but I think. Like, I don't think that is his intentions are necessarily evil, per se, because I think that I think he's a more complex character than just evil. Because
oh no, you can be complex and be evil. It's essentially what makes you, as I view what makes you evil, it is when you follow your goals at willing detriment of others. It's that selfishness that makes you evil, you know?
Right. Well, and I guess we'll get political if we start going down that route. I won't say it.
I was just about to say like some things, but let's not go there. I'm so tired of politics.
I still think that. I mean, I think there's a little more nuance to it, but then after learning the story learning more of the story from the Shadow of the Erdtree, it's like, oh yeah, he was not he's not the bad guy we made him out to be.
No,
you know, it's just that plot twist they have. That was such a good job. It was such a cool thing for them to do, is throw that plot twist out where it's like, it's not so fascinating. It's not quite that simple.
Yeah, it's,
you know.
Again, there was this one, I think it's Smoketown or Zeostorm on YouTube. They're the other lore channels that essentially, they're the only channels that are able to rival Vati Video in quality, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love Smoketown.
Yeah, and he actually mentioned, and he went through Mikla's abilities, and it is essentially his charisma.
Yeah, well, he has a...
Yeah, it seems like that ability is what attracted Mogh to him. And then he asked this question. This was early as the Erdtree DLC was announced. And it made it seem like, so either, and he started theorizing that either Mikla's charisma attracted Mogh, or Mikla did it on purpose. And I'm like, holy shit, Mikla is probably going to be more like Femto than Griffith.
Mick Lested.
Yeah. It seems like it isn't Mick Lested, it was Mogh Lested. Oh my god! And I didn't realize that fucking joke until now. Fuck me.
But it is and that's an interesting story right there too. That's an interesting theory about Mikla using his, his nascency, his power of nascency to his benefit by you know,
Yeah.
basically the unenduring power of childhood um and like people want to protect, I guess, in a
Yeah.
way.
And
People are
it's
always
not
wanting to give
just
kids the benefit of the doubt, kind of thing.
nascency, but he's also gifted. He is powerful, and he has this unnatural charisma to him. Like, take
Yeah.
Melania. She became the essentially born to be the vessel of the god, as the outer god of the Scarlet Rot.
Hmm.
But she also is one of the greatest warriors in all of Elden Ring universe. It's kind of funny how, but what is funny to me is Melania didn't know that Mogh was the one who thought, who quote unquote stole Mikola. That is why from what I can guess, that is why Melania went to Caelid, because the tracks led there, but she couldn't tell that the tracks went under the ground. Because Mogh's palace is under
Right.
Caelid.
It's yeah.
It's
Yeah. The layout of the layout of Lands Between is really cool too.
Yeah, FromSoft knows how to
Right.
make a cohesive world.
And as an IT nerd, I appreciate how they've taken all the assets and placed them into how they've arranged their assets on their map so that they all work,
Yes.
right?
Though
Because they're
there
all
are
like
some
actually connected.
there are
They're
some
all like
balancing issues with the game mechanics and stuff, which Rosa has my friend Rosa has a lot of complaints about, and I do see that. I do see
well,
a lot of the issues, but the game
I
itself
mean,
is just enjoyable to me.
I mean physically, like the way that the assets are laid out in, like how you get from Nokron, like, and how you get from the to Deep Root Depths and all the stuff like that, like, and how you can actually go from Leondell to Deep Root Depths, and how the locations are all physically connected,
Yes.
right? There's no loading screens. You can go from one place to another with like almost no loading screens other than going down an elevator.
Right.
And I think that is so cool.
That
That's so
is
cool. And
basically one of my favorite parts about the whole.
yeah,
It's the best thing that FromSoft has done. Like, they did it extremely well in Dark Souls 1, but they truly mastered it since Bloodborne.
right.
That was their
Well,
best.
I've been playing games for, 40 years or whatever, and actually it hasn't been that long. But I've been playing video games since the late 90s when they were really easy to play. And probably earlier than that. Anyhow, there's always been backgrounds. There's always a panoramic background, and they do a good job of making this really cool scenic background. It's like, wow, that looks neat. I'd like to visit that place. Even in The Witcher, there are places that you can see in the background and can't get to.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no place like that in Elden Ring.
Very true.
Right? Like, if you want to get some, and I absolutely love that. I love that you are even Conan Exiles is another one. There's lots of places you can get to. Like, the backgrounds are usually places you can get to, but still there are a few you cannot, and that's kind of like, oh, that's annoying.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you can get to most of the places in like the open world. And I guess as a huge nerd with, like, I always loved exploring. I just loved exploring lands, and so I always think it's really cool when I can go from one place to another without a loading screen.
Yeah.
I think I admire that design in the game.
Yeah, you can actually seamlessly go to every single place that. Yeah, there's every single one. You can reach all of them with the loading is just done in the background, I think, so you don't really notice it.
Yeah.
It's mechanical marvel in many ways, and
Yeah.
I don't understand a lot of I don't understand any of this kind of
'Cause
computer crap. Let's be honest.
the world's huge.
Oh yeah.
Like, in three-dimensional space. I realize this is all just data, and it's all just ones and zeros on a microchip. But still, the place is huge.
Oh yeah.
And to make it run without like to make it to optimize it so that it'll run properly without having to run loading screens is really that's a technological feat.
Yeah. It's
So.
the reason why it won the Game of the Year and fully earned it.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is still one of my favorite games of all time. Issues and all.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna be.
The pros far outweigh the cons in any situation.
Yeah. And there's a feeling of epicness to the game that you don't get in a lot of other games because of that open area, like that grand open space.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, that's why Total War is so cool, because you can have giant battles, right?
Yeah. Or Total War used to be cool until CA
yeah.
screwed it up.
Yeah. But I mean, where you could have just 100 or 200 units out on the field battling all at once.
Yeah.
Like, that feels epic. It feels epic
does.
because it kind of is. So that's
But
which is weird.
One thing though, I'm wondering about Mogh. There are actually two ways of reaching his palace. When you got to Mogh the first time, which way did you go?
The first time, well, I went through. I did Vare's quest.
Oh, you did?
And I did Vare's quest, and I got the emblem. So that's how I reached his palace the first time. But I went through both ways, because I tried to 100% the game the first time, but then back after I'd done New Game Plus and realized how much shit I'd actually missed. So, or after I'd killed the Elden Beast. But yeah, mostly I just went through. I used Vare's the little amulet to get there.
Yeah. That's how I did it on my New Game Plus. The first time I went the whole way around. Went to the ice fields of giants and faffed around.
Oh wow.
There. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking how can I get there? Because I want to get to the farming area, right?
Right. Yeah.
But I did enjoy myself and zoned out a lot. I was like, oh hey, shiny things. Oh hey, shiny things.
Yeah.
Oh boy, if you get easily distracted, Elden Ring is gonna get you for a long time.
Right.
But
well, it's because it's a big open game with few loading zones, and so you can just kind of go.
Oh yeah.
Get in and go, So it's kind of it's smartly designed in that regard.
It is.
Because it makes it easy for you to just absolutely lose yourself in the game.
And that's what I want from a game. Yeah. I do recommend it. Even if you're not good at Souls-like games, let's put it like this: you can just find a build guide, find one that makes you relatively broken. I don't even use any buffs. I just the whole golden vow shit. I don't do that. I just find the weapon, max it out, and then just base my playstyle that. I'm really fucking scrubby, dude.
That's kind of me too.
Yeah.
Except for I'm always using my mimic tier.
Yeah. I prefer to use
care.
Dung Eater because I worked hard to get Dung Eater. It ain't the way in hell I'm not using that guy.
I got him. I didn't do him on the first time around. I didn't get him on the first time around, but I got him the second time.
Hey, don't do Dung Eater and not clean yourself. You don't know what's gonna happen.
I could just stay away from his mouth, and I think you'd probably be okay.
Use protection. Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. My buddy uses Dung Eater. My other friend uses Dung Eater all the time.
Yeah, he's solid if you want a tank. You can actually you can go completely MMO if you want, and especially now that you have healing from afar. I haven't gotten that one yet, but as soon as you get it, that's gonna, man, that's gonna break a lot because you can
Oh
just
yeah,
heal him.
right.
But yeah, getting sidetracked again. It's again, I just went through all of it, found the portal, found the location, and it's just
Mhm.
so much. Like, I know he is the high priest of the blood god, but Jesus Christ, that's a lot of blood.
Yeah.
I mean, this
I,
dude, for all intents and purposes, is just a vampire at this point.
it kind of, yeah, kind of vampire with extra steps.
Yeah,
Vampire with fire,
he,
also.
he is what
Yeah.
Dracula wishes he was. It's the effects of the god he has become affiliated with too. It's, you know, those annoying freaking hellbirds.
Oh yeah.
If
Yeah.
you seen how they look, their jaws are
Oh yeah.
malaligned, and oh, it's just a nightmare.
They got the scarlet rot. The rot birds
Oh,
are all
yeah.
gnarly looking too.
They're not really. Those aren't really infected by the rot.
Oh,
They're
you
act.
mean the ones in the yeah,
Yeah.
the ones in the land of in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they're
are.
everything in there is all grody and covered in pustules and
Yeah, even the
malformed.
the lost Albanurics who have become followers of him too. Because
Yeah.
here's another thing. I think Mogh, he's the only lord that doesn't discriminate against the Albanurics.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean he's an omen. He's been through it, and he's one of the only guys
Yeah.
who. He's the only one of the two twins who decided to just embrace his curse and accept the power of it. So it makes
Right.
sense that the Albanurics that go to his service just embrace it and live a happy life, because the farming Albanurics are mostly white with some red Albanurics that walk around them. It seems more like just a bunch of they miss their okay, I gotta start from
So I think the red Albanorics.
Yes.
I was I'll interrupt. The red Albanorics they're infused with the blood,
Yeah, they are.
right? That's why they have like the black horns and the black, you know.
Yeah, they
So
they've become part of. They've essentially accepted Mogh's gifts and become
right.
part of his dominion. And
Yeah.
what I think is here, and this is gonna, last time I spoke to someone about this, they started feeling really bad for the Elmanorics. They are essentially there to greet their lost brethren, because the Elbanurics there took the wrong gate. They were on the way to the Halig tree, but they took the wrong portal and came to the Mogwin area.
Mm-hmm.
But they're essentially the red-skinned ones. They're there to greet them and be like, "Hey, you know what? You didn't miss. You look at us. We're doing pretty well here."
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, it's
All things considered, they'd probably have a better time in it's safer there than it is in
the Halig tree.
Leondell with all the or the lakes. Liurnia, that's what I'm thinking. It's safer there than in Liurnia with all the friggin' sniper lobsters.
I fucking hate them. Like, out
And
of
the friggin'
all-
ghouls.
all the damn creatures in Elden Ring, those lobsters
Those
can just eat it.
Oh, yeah, they're so obnoxious.
Ugh.
You're just going along. You know, the only ones I can't think the ones that I hate more than that are the like the screaming ghost ones that you can kill them with the heal.
Oh, the revenants.
The revenants,
Jesus.
I hate those things.
I love their designs, and
Yeah.
they're actually genuinely scary, and some really good example of body horror.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's some great body horror. I mean, like Godric is just or Godfrey, the grafted
Yeah,
guy.
Godric
the
the
grafted.
He is
Yeah.
fucking awesome, and
That's
he
the
has
body
one
horror.
of the best themes too.
But then, and the grafted scions that you encounter throughout, you know, like
Yeah, they're messed up. They're just kids.
that's some body horror, man. They did a good job with that.
Ugh, like they FromSoft knows what they're doing, and they've taken inspiration from the right people. Like, what's Miyazaki's
Well, they had,
taken really good inspiration from, I think, Miura is the creator of Berserk,
yeah.
because
Oh yeah, he
he's a
loves Berserk.
yeah, he's a big fanboy, and hell, so am I.
Yeah.
To everyone listening, read Berserk or go to the YouTube channel of the Almighty Lolly and watch his large ass video on the Berserk lore. It is worth it.
A full overview of the Berserk,
Yeah,
the Berserk comic.
it is just so
But
good.
also, oddly enough, you know, George R. R. Martin was involved, which is probably why it's an open world.
Yeah, honestly,
So there's so much
it's
goofy shit, but
out of all the stupid shit George R. R. Martin has done, being involved with Elden Ring is the only not dumb thing that wannabe hack has done.
you know, I enjoyed the Game of Thrones books.
Oh,
I
I
did.
did too in the beginning, but
And then they stopped, and he stopped writing them.
yeah,
And then
and
the TV show took over his story, and it's like,
and
why?
now he's just too much of a coward to finish his own story. It just
Yeah,
fine, just go away. But I'm not interested in listening to his opinions when he can't even finish
Right.
his own goddamn story.
yeah. And I would feel less animus towards the guy if he was like in his 20s, or not 20s, in his 40s.
Yes.
We'll say if he was in his 40s and moderately healthy, hell, even if he was in his 50s and moderately healthy and still hadn't gotten to this book, because then he still probably has time to write it.
Yeah.
But as it stands now, like,
Game of
dude
Thrones
is
will never
old
finish.
and fat, and he's never going to finish that. It's going to be pieced together. What's going to happen is he's going to die, and then one of his descendants is going to,
He does not have
I
any
say
kids.
descendants. He doesn't have any kids, but I'm sure he has nieces and nephews, or something like that. You know, like he's going to leave his estate to somewhere.
Yep.
And what they'll do is get some hack fucking writer, like Brian Herbert did to his dad, and they'll get some fucking hack sci-fi writer and try to piece together, some hack fantasy writer and try to piece together some.
Well, it can't be worse.
George's
than what
notes
the-
into
what
a
the
semblance of a
does.
story,
Yeah.
right?
The thing is, though, it would fit if his inheritors find a hack to finish his story. At least it's fitting, because let's be fair, George R. R. Martin is a hack. He is a jealous wannabe who sees Tolkien and is jealous that he didn't do it. So instead, now again, everything about Game of Thrones is essentially just to spite Tolkien. He is a fan of Tolkien, but he's the jealous fan, which is why I'm not really that fond of him.
I could see that.
Though, again, I do sound like I don't hate his works. Game of Thrones is generally something I was invested in for a while. Like, I did like how the White Walkers, the others, were essentially these ethereal elven beings, and that the children of the forest were just these black-skinned pygmies with forest magic. It was cool. It was a good concept, and I wish we got more of it, but no.
Yep.
After the I think after the series botched, he pussed out from creating anything.
I think so. Well, and it was kind of, well, I don't know if it said he pussed out. I think that he sold out a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right? Like he made his money by selling his IP to HBO to create their, or Amazon, whatever. No, it was HBO, to create their show. And they were going along fine until they ran out of material to follow. And like, regardless if you feel like he's a hack or not, he is a competent writer, right? Like, as far as writing a cohesive and smart story, he can do that. It may not be like the best story, but
It's a story.
at least it's going to be cohesive, and the plot lines in it. Like, the story may be dumb, but the plot lines will be cohesive, and the and I don't know about the conclusion, but it'll make sense.
Yeah, again,
Right.
it was I
But-
did lose myself in it, and I wanted more of it, but he's not going to do it anymore because, well, he saw how the
Yeah.
TV series folded, and he's scared.
Well, yeah. Well, and he didn't write the end of the TV series. He left it to some Hollywood dildos.
Yeah, and
So-
the fact that he doesn't do anything more shows that he knows he can't do anything better himself.
See that.
Yeah, again, that is why I'm harsh on the guy. And
It could also be just to be most charitable to him. It could be that he is just so beat down by what they created that he's just so despondent that he just can't bring himself to write anything because he's like, this is what they're going to do to my work. This is what they're going to do to my work. And he's going to look at Rings of Power and go, this is what they're going to do to my work.
yeah,
This is what they're going to do to my work. Why am I trying?
He was in a bit of a cancel kerfuffle himself. So what I think is that he got hit with that and became too scared to do anything.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Again,
Because anything,
he
like, I
is-
bet he had
he is a
storylines
coward.
planned out.
He is a coward. That is.
Oh,
the,
he is.
That is the only.
Yeah.
You cannot say that he isn't.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
We're talking
You can
about.
see-
The thing is, though,
you can see it in him.
we're talking about George R.R. Martin, and here's the thing. While we're actually on, I'm bringing it back to Mogh. Mogh
Yeah.
isn't a hack. He isn't a liar. From what I can tell, he wanted to create his own dynasty, and he treats a lot of the downtrodden creatures fairly well, even though it's a very, let's be honest, cancerous existence. They're at least treated relatively well. Everyone there seems to be
Yeah.
relatively happy, and even the blood zombies seem to be somewhat chill.
They're all thrilled until you show up with the dead god in your hand and start swinging blades of golden light at them.
Yeah, I like.
They're all flying, chilling out on their top there until all of a sudden you come along.
Yeah.
Fucking genocide them over and over and over again.
Well, you can't genocide what isn't real life. I think that's
Yeah.
I think
Well,
that's
they're
the logic
created.
with the Albonorics. They are artificial life, which is why everybody
Yep.
feels okay. We can just torture you now, I guess.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
Kind of messed up. Well, I did the
Well-
Albonoric woman questline, so they're
Yeah, I did.
the only Albonoric woman who can give birth can now give birth. So does that mean I'm the dad?
Whoa.
I ain't paying child support for a whole race. I'm a deadbeat.
Oh, that,
Oh man.
that's funny.
Yeah, but it's
I-
a good one. But getting along.
I'll-
What? Oh yeah, you first. Sorry.
I'll beat those allegations because my character was a female confessor.
Hmm.
that was built like a linebacker. I thought it was hilarious.
It's
Her name was
ma'am.
Heresy Jane. She's a big, strong. Yeah, it's ma'am. It's ma'am. She's a big, strong, strength faith.
Stonk and independent. No, it does make sense. It does make so much more
Oh.
sense in Elden Ring because there are supernatural forms of power there. So, you know,
Yeah.
Jesus, it makes sense in my opinion, at least. It's not this. It kind of makes sense that someone that is tiny is able to beat someone to death who's large because you have power, you have actual divine
Right.
power, or you could just use magic.
You know, on that side note, just a brief tangent is that I really for Dragon's Dogma 1, I haven't played Dragon's Dogma 2. I'm avoiding it for a while because they need to patch a bunch of stuff. But for Dragon's Dogma 1, I played that, and the one thing that really struck me about that game was that your character design impacted how, like, it was one of the first games I'd ever played where your character design actually impacted how it worked, like how your character worked.
Really?
And so I made my character small, and so I didn't have a lot of carry weight. or I didn't realize. Of course, I could get into a lot of places, but then of course that's been a normal thing in a lot of other games since then. But that was one of the first like kind of Souls-like games, that I had played, where my size directly impacted my gameplay. And so my first time through, like, I had this little tiny character, and I was always trying to, like, I didn't have a lot of gear on me because I was trying to manage my carry weight all the time. But then my second time through, when I could revamp her, I made her fucking huge. I turned her into Brunhilde, this giant ass weightlifting bitch, so that I could carry everything.
Lord.
But yeah.
It awakens.
So back onto
it
it.
awakens something in you, huh? Yeah.
But yeah, so back to Elden Ring. Yeah, so my character's big and it's a big, dumb, strong woman.
Yeah.
Heresy Jane.
Heresy
She's out to beat up some heretic.
Based. I chose the confessor too, though. I just made it just a dude.
Yeah.
I like to live myself in. It's a bit cringe the way I do these games, is that I just make a approximation of myself and then just play the game as close to what I would be able to do there.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be me all the time, but
Oh, man.
it's a good first time playthrough thing I do. But
yeah. That's not how I do it.
That's fair, dude. Holy shit. We all
Probably
play
my kids are all
differently.
goofy too.
We all play games differently, and sometimes I also feel like, screw it, I'm just gonna make a character and go from there. Sometimes it's like, I want to try to make a character based on me and see if I can actually see what the result is. Doing the first thing that comes to mind.
Right.
But what?
That's hilarious. Playing through as impulsively as you possibly can.
Yeah.
I love it.
It is. So I do whatever. It's like, it's like my first reaction to a character is like, I don't like him. Okay, I want to end him. Do it. That is how I would be like. Essentially, it's myself, but with just less red tape. Basically.
with less accountability, but no accountability.
There is accountability. I do take accountability. I did it. I'm saying it with my chest, but still, if they got a problem with it, they gotta fucking beat me down. Cause hey, I have the power to do whatever I want. So bring it, bitch.
You gotta stop me.
Yeah.
Cause I'm not gonna stop myself.
Oh man.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Though to be fair, I did like Nefelia Lu's questline, but we can talk more about her when we get to when we do Godfrey's story. But speaking of Mogh, he's an entire boss in this game. He is a what is it? Remembrance and a rune bearer.
Yeah.
So that means if we want all the rune shards, he's on our hit list. And his boss fight it's a bit of a mixed bag for me, because the fight itself is pretty cool. It's just that it also is one of the gimmick fights in the game. Because
it is. I didn't struggle with this the way that most people did. Like, and maybe because, of course, his boss fight is right after the place where you go to get over leveled.
Yep.
So as it turns out, I was a bit over leveled when I got to him.
Yeah.
And I just
when you get enough vigor, you can just
him.
When you get enough vigor, you can just tank the knee heal. But I weren't over leveled because I don't want to be too over leveled. I want to have I'm one of those retards who like to have a little bit of challenge.
Yeah.
I try to enjoy the game without too many crutches or cheesing it too much, but if I struggle, I bring out the cheese, essentially.
Yeah.
I want to feel I earned it, even though I have the option to just absolutely break it. If you know what I mean.
Dude. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, that's part of what makes these games so fun, is the challenge of them.
Yep.
Right. Like, I was watching shorts. I was watching Doom Scrolling the other day, and I ran across a dude. His the title of it was "I'm Gonna Get Mine," and or "I'm Gonna Get My Get," and it was him finally killing. I think it was him finally killing Mesmer or one of the bosses.
Yeah.
Where he was like, "Oh fuck yeah, I got you! Finally, I got you! I'm gonna get my get." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, I know exactly how that feels.
Oh yeah.
Like when you have been beating your head against a boss and then you finally get him, because you know, up to that point where you finally beat him, there's like been 3 chances before where he was 1 hit away and he killed you."
Oh God, it's such a good feeling when you get there.
It is.
And
It's like the game does such a good job of building up stress and then releasing it when you
yes.
finally do it.
And
you know,
I understand
sets
a
you-
lot. I understand a lot of the people who are not into it, but that's one of the main reasons why I play these games, because you get the challenge and you beat the challenge. And some people,
Yeah.
they think it's too much, and I understand it is a bit in the extreme. It's a niche they have.
Yeah.
And not everyone is for the niche. Hell, I don't do strategy games because my strategy is to play like an ant. That's a problem. Send everything in the kitchen sink at it.
Yeah, that's how I play too. I'm playing a lot of Civ lately.
Yeah.
I was like, if I don't win the science victory, I had to turn off diplomatic victories. Just like, if I
Yes.
don't win the science victory, I'm just gonna take over the whole world.
Yeah.
That's what's
by
gonna happen.
force, military force.
Oh yeah, I have a map where I was Rome, and I took over. There every spot in the world is covered in Rome.
As it should
I just had to get the whole thing. And it's like, yeah, when I first start, I just create a bunch of colonies. I create this hyper productive economy.
I mean,
just start building units. But-
let's be fair. Rome should rise
Yeah.
again, but under
Yeah.
with different leadership.
Right.
Definitely not me. Holy shit! I do not want that responsibility. Also, I don't want to get
But yeah, no, so-
guarded.
But yeah, no shit. I'm going up against the wall too. I'm no. I wouldn't want to live in society that tolerated people like me.
Ugh, I know, right?
No. But okay, back to.
Yeah, so I was about to say, what do you think about the fight against Mogh? Because, again, if you look away from the gimmicky part of the knee heal,
Right.
again, it's easy to deal with it. If you have like 40 vigor and a bunch of flask, just as soon as he starts to do his knee heal, chug flasks. Each
And you'll
flask,
get through it.
Yeah, if you max out your healing flasks, fully power them with all the urgery fragments, each knee heal can be saved by one single flask chug. That's how, because knee heal ruined me the 2 times I fought him the first time, and then I just started chugging health potions, and I realized, oh shit, every time I just take a sip. It cost me 3 flasks, but my faith build and the weapon I use gives me so much health, so one of the few times I actually use health bottles.
Yeah, I used that. I mean, that's kind of, I just healed through it.
Yeah.
So the one, and the one under Leondel was more of a struggle for me than this one, because I was more level appropriate then. But still, the edgelord in me loves the fact that he's throwing blood and it turns into flames, and if you touch the fire, you bleed.
Yeah. It is so good, and you can just
It's thematically cool.
You can make such a broken bleed build from that.
Oh yeah, you can, dude. Yeah, I just use a Blasphemous Blade and then the Mogh Spear. And the weapon art on Mogh Spear is so busted. Like, so the weapon art on that spear is so good that it made me worse at the game. Because I started depending on it. And I realized that when I went into the DLC. It's like how much I was really trying to depend on that for poise break and stuff like that. But since everything in the DLC doesn't even know what the word stagger means, it doesn't do as it's not as good.
Nope.
So
And that is why I keep using other weapons, and that's why I have the blasphemous blade on me, so I get the healing from it from just when you destroy when you kill enemies. But I keep it on me, but I try to avoid using it as much as I do. I instead find like regular weapons and do other setups. Like again, the great stars are broken, but they're not blasphemous blade broken.
Right.
There's still a hint of challenge, and sometimes I want to try to unga bunga the boss before I reduce myself to just spamming blasphemous blade.
Yeah.
You know Renala? You know the chick in the castle, right?
In the you mean Rolana?
Relana, right?
The twin blade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was the first time in a long time where I actually just busted out the mimic tier and the blasphemous blade. That was holy shit. That was a
But
fight, and her ability.
that was a fight.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so what I like about Mogh is if you look away from the gimmick, his fight is a really stand up and kind of a fair fight. I like those. I like those fights.
Yeah.
As much as I also like cinematic fights, I like the more stand up confrontations too.
The brawls,
Yeah, like
the battle beatdowns.
yeah, like the omens always give you a good fight. Mogh,
Oh yeah, the big tanky boys.
yeah, Mogh and his brother. It's all about learning their patterns. It's like proper FromSoft. You just need to learn their pattern and then you're good.
Right.
And I've always again
a lot of muscle memory.
yes. And before like even before the DLC, and again I've avoided as much lore as possible because I wanna find on my own terms before I start deep diving into it.
Right.
I've always liked Mogh, as I said, because he is a generally good villainous character. Hell, his design here just he gives me some serious Ganon vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a really well designed. He's a well designed character, but he's a good bad guy.
Yes, a really good bad guy. And even if he was probably tricked by Mikola, he was not going to be a good guy regardless. Like the nicest people out of all the America's children would be Radon, essentially, as I view it.
Right.
Rykard,
the mindless monster Radon.
yeah, Radon is a cool guy regardless. He's just a Chad dude.
Yeah.
Like he learned gravity magic. He's a strength boy, right? But he learned magic so he could learn gravity magic.
And so he could ride his horse.
Yes! He's the most wholesome motherfucker that exists. Morgoth is he's cool too because he's the abandoned son, but he has fallen in love. He still loves the thing that hates him.
Right.
And just
I think he's the.
Oh, you're going.
He's the dutiful son.
Yes.
Because he wants to do right by his mom. You know, he wants to do right by the Golden Order for his mother.
Yep. Not knowing that her mother hates the.
Yeah.
Her mother hates the Golden Order. It is her stepfather or maternal father that loves the Golden Order.
Right.
Radagon. Now that's we'll cover that one. We'll go deeper into there when we actually cover Radagon this episode, and that's I guess when we'll get even deeper into America. But as a mother, as a leader, essentially as anything, America is a villain. I don't care what many people say.
Yeah.
I've had this Twitter spat with people where, oh, America is a good person. No, she's a good. No, she's not.
No, she's bad.
Oh yeah. Hell,
she's bad. She caused all the problems that are occurring now.
Yeah.
And you find out in the DLC just how responsible she really is for everything bad that's going on right now.
Just fucking hug your kids.
Yeah.
I think I've seen someone.
That's the moral of the story.
I've seen them I've seen a you know those spirit guys who just lament about things in new areas. I
Yeah.
think I saw one. It's like, America, just embrace your son. Essentially, if we look away
Just give
from,
that little fucker a
yeah,
hug.
just
That's all he needs.
if we translate it to modern speak, he's like, please, woman, just hug your fucking kid.
Yeah.
Give him a fucking hug.
So Mikola is like Stewie in Family Guy when he's going, Mom, Mom, Mommy, Mom, 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 Mom.
Oh.
Constantly, because he just wants his mom's attention. And then when she's just like snaps at him and blows everything up, and he's just like, fuck you, bitch, I'm taking everything else. And so now his goal is to kill his mom and take over the world.
Yeah, again, he was delusioned. He was disillusioned by the Golden Order. I think, because, again, I don't think Mikola is just pure evil, but I think I'm looking forward to his villain arc to see more about how it is. Again, I haven't really gotten far into it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how it's gonna turn out, because I think, again, just speculation until I get there, I think Mikola is driven insane by the fact that the Old Order doesn't do anything. It failed to save his sister, so he abandoned that. He tried to save her through the Halig Tree. That project failed, so then he went and essentially had Mogh believe that he was the key to something else, so he could just start his other journey. What makes Mikola essentially what's gonna make Mikola evil is how he, again, like Ronnie, uses other people for his own gain.
Yeah, Mikola is more Machiavellian.
Yeah.
Which I think is where the name kind of comes from a little bit. I think it's a slight nod, because Mikola does act very Machiavellian. And I also, but, I don't know if it's, Christ, I totally lost my train of thought.
I do that a lot too.
But yeah, no, Mikola is more Machiavellian, and I think that I think that you're going to find that Mikola's motives are less altruistic than you believe them to be.
That might be, and I'm okay with
He's
that. He's
like more self-motivated than you think.
The other thing is did he originally have good intentions, or is it never really had good intentions, but he managed to bullshit so much that he believed his own shit?
Oh no, I mean, they all had good intentions. They all always have good intentions, and I think by their definition, good intentions means by what's best for them.
Yeah.
Right. That's just how I think about a lot of the good intentioned people, which is why they say, good intentions are the pathway to hell.
Yeah.
So the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah. Good intentions for you, for others. Matter. To me, at least, it seemed he cared for Malenia, but if he truly cared for Malenia, why abandon her in the Halig Tree?
Yeah, so because he's Machiavellian and he was using her to his own ends.
Yeah.
Not because he, like, that's how I feel about it. That's how I look at it. So he's Machiavellian. He was using her to his own ends.
Yeah.
And it's not as like, oh well, he's just trying to do this because his mom was bad. Like, yeah, his mom was bad. He's kind of a piece of shit too.
Yeah.
So
he didn't even have a proper father figure because it was his mom all along.
Yeah. He's raised by a single mom. Of course, he's gonna be all crazy and violent.
When your father is your mother at the same time, like. One thing I do like though is that what's the word again? He's Marika is a Rebus. It's a entity who has the ability to possess both feminine and masculine qualities, but it is not like the same person, because Marika speaks to and down on Radigan. They are the same being, but they're not the same mind. So. Well,
I mean, she's playing the part of the wife.
No. Radigan and Marika are they share the body, but they're separate entities. there's a battle for control. It is multiple personalities.
I don't think so.
It is. It is.
I think Radagon is an aspect of America.
Oh, he is an aspect of her. He is the lesser half.
But he's not
he is his
like
own.
she's in control all the time.
No.
I don't think that there's a point where America was not in control.
Oh,
of that.
like
America's plans for the whole thing.
Yeah, but she has the most control. If you.
Yeah, it was all planned.
Not really, because as America was trying to shatter the Elden Ring, Radagon was doing his best to build it. America is the one in control because she is the greater of the two, but Radagon still, while America hated the Golden Order in that, Radagon is so doggedly loyal to it that he kept trying to keep it together while she tried to dismantle it.
See, I don't see it that way. I don't think that's.
But that's how it is.
That's not a.
That is literally that's literally how it is. It's been confirmed that is how it is. They are
America
and Radagon.
I think she was always in control. Like I think she was always in control.
Yeah, she was.
And like all the illusion of struggle, was just the illusion of struggle. For the purpose of the show, it was like kayfabe. Like it's like wrestling. Like she's trying to make it seem like there's a struggle, but there never really was.
Nah, at that point
like
where
everything
that
was
struggle was, it was already too late. Again, I see what you mean, but again, from all the lore pieces I've found and that I've seen so far, they were, again, they're the same body,
right?
But they are two separate minds. Again, when you go to the Queen's bedchamber, right? And you can speak to, what's her name? You know your one-eyed companion, spirit girl?
Yeah. Melania. Melina.
She speaks to Radagon. It's not a open, loud decree. It's more she is mocking her other half. It's essentially twins, but in the same body, where one takes the shape in order to be the dominant one.
Okay.
And
that makes sense.
America, she didn't really follow the Golden Order anymore, but Radagon was, and he tried to fix the Elden Ring. Well, she broke it, and of course, since she is the most powerful of the two, thereby the greater half, she managed to break it.
Yeah, no, you're right. I was misremembering, but I think that she still was Machiavellian in the fact that she that a lot of it was the you're right. The alternate personality got a hold of her. But it was all still I don't know.
Yeah, essentially Miquella. There's so many of America's kids, or when I say America's kids, I also include the kids fathered by Radagon. You know, Renala's kids.
Right.
Yeah, Radon.
The Empyreans.
Yep, Radon, Renala, because each kid that America had with each of the three parents, one of them each has this tendency to be very much similar to America. So for the let's see, I need to phrase this properly. Words are difficult. In the case of the first generation, you know, Godwyn, Mogh, and Morgott, I think Mogh or Godwyn would have been the ones that possesses most of the America's traits, right?
Like most of the devious.
Yeah, the devious, more evil faces. Because I still believe Mogh he's an inherently good person. I just think that he was just outclassed by America. Of course, until I find out more, that may change. That might be subject to change. But I think Mogh was the one who bore most resemblance to America. Then in the second generation with Radon, Rykard, and Renala, No, not Renala. Rani. Rani
Yeah.
was the one who had the most of her mother in her, or father mother in her.
Yeah.
And on the second on the third generation, it is Mikola. Holy shit, there's
Yeah.
so many names.
Yeah, there's a lot of names.
Yeah.
Good job with that. That was great.
But yeah, that's how I view it. Each
Yeah.
generation has bad apples, and many would say also that in Renala's, Radigan and Renala's children, there are technically two evil kids with Rykard and Ronnie. Only Radon is the honorable one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and I've yet to see any proof that Godwyn the Golden, the first son, the one who
Right.
Ronnie sacrificed to start the whole
Right.
thing. I don't think he was evil either.
I don't think so either. Well, that's the
Yeah.
At least in the story, there's no real major indications of him being evil.
No, and
But they don't talk a lot about his.
he doesn't really.
They talk more about
his.
his death.
He is the Prince of Death, and essentially
Yeah.
a curse existed because Ronnie had to sacrifice him. Jesus, what a bitch. We'll get to that. We'll get to that one when we get to Renala's story. Because Renala is
The moral of the whole game is trust no bitch.
essentially yes, women. Oh Jesus, women or effeminate men are evil. Oh boy, that is actually true. Oh jeez.
Oh man.
That's the moral. That YouTube. That is from software, not us.
Yeah. No, yeah, that was the interpretation from FumSoft of
Yeah.
Elden Ring, the game. Not a personal opinion that I agree with wholly at all.
Completely agreed. I mean, no, not at all. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair though, one of the other women who there is a woman that helps set us on the path, and that is, I just call her our maiden, the maiden.
Melina?
Melina. Fuck.
Yeah.
So many names.
Yeah.
But yeah, Melina is essentially the one who sets us on a path, so she is actually a good person. And when you get the frenzied flame, she essentially just pleads not to. So
Yep. She abandons you when you get it.
Yeah, she is. She sacrificed herself. So not all women are evil. Just women with power are evil. I can get by that one. I can agree with that.
There you go. It's multifaceted.
Never trust women in politics. Says Elden Ring.
That I can totally. Yep. That I can get behind.
Now I know why I like this game so much.
They're gonna make a total mess of it in the lands between.
Yeah, totally.
In Minecraft.
Just the lands between. Never trust a politician woman in the lands between. Totally, just in case.
Yeah.
Oh man, Well, that's it. God, I just love this game. All its flaws and shit, it is still one of the best games ever. It's just solid. I'm having such a good time playing it.
Oh, for real.
Oh yeah.
And it's a beautiful game.
It is.
Like this is and I appreciate what I love in a game is finding a giant boss. Like I think that's really cool.
Oh dude, the fire giant.
Coming up.
I am so hyped for when we get to the fire giant. When we gotta do an episode of the fire giant. I don't wanna. I'm limiting getting over too many characters. I know it's supposed to be about Mogh, but it's been mostly about Mikola for obvious reasons. But it's so much good shit. But when it comes to like the fire giant, Morgoth, I'm really looking forward to this. I hope you want to do the rest of the Rune Bearer or Remembrance bosses with me.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude.
Hell yeah. So, I am starting to get really close to finishing Mogh here.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That looks great, dude.
Thanks. This one?
Yeah, I really like they did a good job of catching the yeah, the hand looks good.
Yeah. Man, I was.
It does look better. It looks better with the skinnier fingers.
Oh yeah, it's
But the Mogh, you did a good job with the horns on the head. That looks the omen horns. Did a great job.
That was a fucking mess and a half.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also I managed to do with the new format size too. So now Besic will be less annoyed about the format, the size of the screen. You're welcome, Bessie boy.
Can actually fit it to the YouTube screen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can be helpful. I can be nice sometimes. I mean, I gotta be nice because Besic does this shit for free, and if I start being too abusive, he might just leave, and then I'm screwed. Wait, did I say
I
that
need to
out
work
loud?
on
Damn
editing.
it.
I need to work on my editing skills some more.
Yeah. Hey, if you met. Nah, I'm not going there.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So let's.
Well, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to. Ugh, Christ. Got the yawn. Sorry. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with what I'm going to do with my channel, since I can't really paint outside right now.
Yeah, I heard that.
So
Well.
I'm setting up to paint minis, and I just ordered some new stuff, or some cables to try to get my 3D printers going again.
Nice.
So maybe I'll start doing more of that stuff again. I used to do a lot of 3D printing and crafting and stuff like that. Of course, I never, recorded anything of it, but I'll do it now.
That's good.
So
Let's see. I'm just gonna try to make a simple background here. The problem is I want to try and make it liquid. Bloody liquidy thingy.
oh yeah,
It's gonna be a bit difficult, but you never know until you try. And also with the sketchy, I only use the this pencil thingy.
Yeah.
Because I really like it, and this is a self-imposed limitation, and for some people it might be stupid, but screw you, my channel, I do what I want.
That's what it comes down to.
Eh,
It's your channel. You do what you want.
it's about having fun, and also I do learn a little bit. I learned, poses, structures. Hell, I never
Yeah.
tried drawing Mogh, and hell, so far so good.
Oh, it looks great, man.
Thank you. And I've always been a fan of like the black and white kind of. There's, like the old
Yeah.
Phantom comics and all that.
Yeah.
Man, that stuff was shit. And you can get a lot of good moods out of this. You also have pretty much a suck at shading with color. It's a pain.
Oh, learn to shade in black and white, and then you can get better at it in color, I guess.
Yeah. And also, I'm glad I did a bit more serious picture, because if I'm gonna do a comic one with Mogh, it would include Mogh having to take a seat. Take a seat, right back. Or now, of course, the Mogh Station.
Charge is beaten.
Yeah, the Mogh Station allegations have apparently
Yeah.
been beat, because turns out Mikola is to blame. And turns out
Yeah.
Mikola isn't actually a kid, but one of those 1,000-year-old
Yeah.
whatevers.
He's a lolly. Mikola's a lolicon, dude.
Yeah, Mikola is this game's trap. And for
He's
some
a-
reason, Miyazaki loves traps like he loves poison swamps. Now, if you want to say there's a connection between traps and poison swamps, that's up to you. I'm not saying anything. I'm not hinting at anything. Just saying. There's always a trap, and there's always a poison swamp. Yeah, this isn't YouTube friendly. Thank God Besic has the censorship button, and he has better judgment than I do, so,
Emma. No.
But yeah, this was a lot of fun, dude.
Yeah, man.
Man,
Yeah, that looks great.
I'm kind of satisfied with this.
Yeah, dude. You did that in what? How long have we been here? An hour and a half.
1.5
Yeah.
hour. So
Man, that's crazy.
yeah, hopefully there's won't be too much. There's not too much dead air or cut down thingy. And Besic's editing skills have. Hey, I'm gonna give a little bit of a head pat to Besic. He's been doing a bang up job editing these videos. Seriously.
Oh yeah, no, they've been great.
Yeah. This channel
They've
would
been
this channel
good.
wouldn't exist without his effort. Seriously, thank you, Bezek. Dude.
Send you a virtual
Huh?
virtual mouth hug.
Yes, that sounded fucking weird. Yeah, that is Dave's thing, Bezek. He's mouth hugging you, virtually mouth hugging.
Yeah, no, not me.
Oh no, you just did. Swallow or spit, that's your decision. But
Oh man.
I'm just giving you a high five, man.
Okay.
Jesus. This is YouTube. This tube is black and red, not black and orange. Jeez. Control thyself.
Man.
Oh man. All right. Enough. Enough of that. We're not Miyazaki.
Yeah, that background looks good. I like
Thank
that.
It's just fun, dude. It's just really fun. And you can just make visual, as if I remember correctly, this is what my friend Robert Renato calls visual noise. So you don't really have to be full on the details. You just have to make it. You have to make it a bit wriggly, a bit messy, and create enough visual noise so that the brain will fill out the rest of the details.
That makes sense. Which makes, I mean, that kind of follows along with the theme of the game too.
Yep.
Like it gives you a little bit of detail, and you kind of got to fill in on some of it on your own.
Yeah.
Which, some people hate, but I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that stuff is just personal preference. And I don't hate on people who hate on Elden Ring. It's just fair. It's not your game. Deal.
Mm-hmm.
And there's probably games they like that I don't really like. So it's a bit of give and take. This game won Game of the Year for a reason, and that means that there's enough people who play the game to like it.
So I've always wondered if FromSoft has this just story. They have a book that is the story of Elden Ring, right? Or they have their own internal Wikipedia thing, kind of. It's the story of Elden Ring, and every question about it could be answered. Well, I mean, they have to have some kind of overarching story. Like, they know the story. At FromSoft, right? They wrote it. So this makes me wonder, how much of it they have written down. In the future, if you're going to be able to go back and oh yeah, according to the big book of Elden Ring, this is
so
according to the book of Elden Ring from FromSoft Elden Ring. This is the reason for that.
This is the story of John Elden Ring.
Yeah.
I hate that meme, but it's also funny. I hate it, but why is it so fucking funny? I'm John Elden Ring, and I shall beat you, Mogh, for the hand of Mikola.
Dude, if I make another character, that's what I'm gonna name him, John Elden Ring.
Yeah, that makes that has been such a fucking streamer thing. Like the milquetoast streamers. Half of them have done oh, this is John or Jane Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And you have
in
Dark Souls, this is John Dark Souls. I hate it, but it's funny.
It's funny.
God damn it.
It's gonna be one of those things that's that's so stupid. Why did you do that?
Yeah.
It's stupid. Why did it? It did it because it's stupid.
It's stupid. I mean, it's the same reason why you make a green-faced abomination.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, yeah. So this has been the episode, our first Elden Ring oriented episode. More will come. Next one will probably be Elden Ring 2 or maybe another movie. Again, I let my co-host decide what to talk about when we record. I like to give him that little bit of freedom.
See what works best.
Yeah.
See what flows best.
Indeed. So again, I'm looking forward to next time already, dude. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So we can.
Oh, these are always blast.
Yeah, we can either do another Omen Twin. We can talk about one of the big ones, or Rykard, or hell, we can if we get further into the DLC, maybe talk one about that one.
Oh yeah, there you go.
But please, not something with a lot of horns.
Not another horny character.
Well, that actually fits Mogh a lot, considering his interest. Also, I know that know that Mogh has wings, but
Yeah,
screw it. There's enough detail. I'm already pushing close enough to the hour
nope,
limit as it is.
that's good.
Yeah.
You're good.
So this is the conclusion of the episode. This is today's sketch. Mogh the Omen, also known as Mogh the Lord of Blood. With me today, I've had the very good friend of the channel, Dave from Total Blackout Painting. Thank you very much for joining, dude.
Oh man, it was my pleasure.
Yeah.
That was great. You educated me on a lot of this, so I'm grateful for it. So
Thank you.
there we go.
Do you have any place people can reach you?
Follow me on Twitter, at Reverend Dave. I'm just some jerk.
Yeah.
I have my own channel, Total Blackout Painting.
It's in
There should be a
link in the description down below.
there's a link to my Discord in that channel if you want to join. Other than that, that's all I got.
Hell yeah. If you like what you saw here and you would like to commission me to do art for you, because I don't do just black and white, I also do color images, just go down there and you will be able to find a link to my merch page, or you can find my Ko-Fi, contact me on my Twitter or on Discord, and you can just hire me to do a commission for you. I essentially make everything. I can make anything, but for shit like furry, that's gonna cost extra. Just fucking saying. Oh lord, there are limits, but hell, I do like money. Well, and with that, I would like to thank Besek for editing, Robert Renato for letting us use his music, and again, I would like to thank Dave for joining me here. And
Yep, my pleasure.
thank you, and I would like to thank everyone who's been watching this episode. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.
Shadow 8.